She was born in New York, August 10th, 1920, to Solomon and Yetta Shecklin, who were very sweet and gentle people. Immigrants from Germany and Poland, they were a working-class family. Saul was a high-fashion tailor, and Yetta made their home in the Bronx. And she had two brothers, Jack and Seymour, whom she loved deeply and remained devoted to throughout her entire life. And she married the love of her life, Jack Berkowitz, on January 17th, 1943, becoming a war bride, after which he was stationed in an army base in Kentucky before the two of them were able to move to California so Jack could start a business, where she went to work for Lockheed Corporation and then Cedars of Lebanon.
Evelyn was one of those people that really did live life to its fullest. And she did that in part, as Rabbi said, not only by being adventurous herself, but also giving of herself to others. And she was a person who would greet and mentor people and take great care to help them achieve whatever they needed to achieve. And of course, I was at one point one of those people that she helped along the way. She had that very calm demeanor. She didn't lose her cool. She was the same at the end of the day as she was at the beginning of the day. She could help you with the same grace and patience at 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the middle of an emergency as she could as she walked in the door.
And when I think of my own personal experience at Cedars Sinai, when I go back 30 years, there were three women really who ran the show, who ran medical affairs, who ran academic affairs, who ran the research programs, who ran anything to do with professional activities. And they were Millie Barron and Harriet Siegel and Evelyn. And those three ladies did everything today which a whole army of vice presidents and senior vice presidents and chiefs of staff and doctors and lawyers and even Peter Braverman's office deals with today. And I remember walking into Danny's office, because Danny's office was the place where everything happened. And there was this guardian. She stood at the gates and she guarded those gates. And she wouldn't let you in to see Danny unless either she liked you or you had a very, very good reason. So she really did protect Danny and was able to solve lots of his problems.
I remember when I met Evelyn, it was in May of 1983. Danny was the, I guess we would call it the sergeant major of the office. Everything that was going to get done got done through Danny's office, which meant that everything got done through Evelyn. And what I noticed about Evelyn from the very first moment that I met her, I'll say at least three things. One is poise. I'll get back to that in a minute. Two, a quiet competency. And then three, professionalism. That's what I saw working with Evelyn day in and day out.
There is so much to say and so much to miss to remembering the life of Evelyn. She was kind, considerate, courageous, warm, always helping others, full of life, and of all the attributes that an executive assistant should possess. She was unbelievably loyal to her family, to her friends, to her colleagues, and the medical center. There is no question about it. I'm convinced that Evelyn is with us right now, taking word by word what I say with her speedy shorthand, and then immediately beginning to correct my grammar. Evie, you will be happy to hear that today's executives do their own emails. Isn't that a fabulous thing? She brought a smile to all of us, as well as those around us. There is no doubt in my mind. May you, Abby, rest in peace. We all love you dearly. We will meet again at the pearly gates, and you will assist us once again. See you, my friend. Shalom.
Then the busy years went rushing by us, lost our starry oceans on the way. If by chance I'd see you in the tavern, we'd smile at one another and we'd say, those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we'd choose, we'd fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. La 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 la.
Wow, what can I say? It's clear to me now. Having grown up in New York, Evie moved to California when I was just a baby, and you people know her far better than I did. It's amazing. My wife and I only moved here to California in '92, a little less than 20 years ago, and that was when I really got to know my Aunt Evie. But right up till the end, she was always thinking about, always having memories about Danny, about all of you, the people that she worked with here for so many years at Cedars, and about her family. She was totally dedicated. I know I'll miss her. Sounds like you're all missing her already, and we'll all meet again someday.
Evelyn was a very good friend, an extended family member. And this is from Brian Morey. Evelyn was someone who could always count on and who would remember everything. I could always count on a reminder from Evelyn for meetings and commitments. And this was long before electronic calendars. Lindsay Browning writes about Evelyn. Evelyn Berkowitz, her warmth and strength were such that after 30 years, I have a warm feeling when I think of her. Remembering Evelyn, I see her smile and recall her keen sense of humor. As my boss's right hand, she was one of the first people I met at Cedars Sinai. I valued and appreciated her guidance, which helped me navigate the waters. Evelyn, a woman respected and admired for her diplomacy and loyalty, always pleasant, yet she was firm in establishing boundaries for information and access to Danny. I also remember her as a loyal Dodger fan and recall that she stayed at a game that went into overtime for 17 innings. She worked hard and enjoyed herself and those she knew. Her love of life is an inspiration. Evelyn is treasured and missed.
I'm Nikki Savan, and I shared an office with Evelyn, and we connected right away, both being from the Bronx. And I knew nothing about medicine, medical terminology, doctors, hospitals, or anything. And she took me under her wing and taught me everything I needed to know. She taught me another very important lesson that I use until this day. One night I was having dinner at her place, and she made a brisket, and it's probably the best brisket I have ever eaten. And over wine and cheese, she said to me, I think I finally figured out why we brown meat. It probably seals in the juices. And when I brown meat, throughout my entire life, I think of Evelyn. Evelyn, you're probably you are the greatest woman I have ever met. You're the greatest person I have ever met. And I know one day you will take me under your wing again and teach me everything I'll need to know at that time. Thank you.
I have great memories of Aunt Evie growing up. In 2 words, I can describe my aunt to you. She was totally cool. We all lived in New York, but she lived in California, and she wore gold lame sneakers on her. I don't know if she wore them to work, but that's what she wore when we were on vacation with her. And as a child, on birthdays, I would remember a lot of my grandparents would send me clothes, and sometimes you like the clothes, and sometimes you don't like the clothes. If Aunt Evie sent clothes, they were cool. They usually had rhinestones on them. Aunt Evie was always on the cutting edge of whatever was cool and fun and trendy. She was old. She was my great aunt, so she was an adult, more than an adult, but she was so hip. Also, as I've gotten older, I've really begun to admire her for the lifestyle that she led and the way that she modeled that even if your life doesn't turn out the way you think it's going to, in terms of marriage or kids or your spouse staying alive, it can still be a wonderful life. And Aunt Evie was brave and happy, and she lived the absolute best life that she could. And I really feel that was a gift that she showed that to me.
Somehow we must all find comfort in realizing that we were privileged to have been graced by her. So may God give her family, friends, the entire Cedars Sinai community the consolation that they so deserve. And may her memory be a source of blessing without end. Amen.
We live our life, we choose, we fight and never